Hello, thank you for joining me for this example palm reading. Today I'm going to talk about some potential signs of somebody who may earn a good living, about their financial future, and the likelihood of achieving success. This is the non-dominant hand. I will mainly be doing the reading from the dominant hand. But first of all, we're just going to have a look at what we see on the non-dominant hand. And we can see that during a part of this lifeline, there is some change happening. There is a connected line to the fate line. This is the fate line, which represents the career in general. However, the fate line becomes the lifeline. So during a certain point in this person's life, judging on where this intersection is of the split, that represents the change towards a more career-orientated life. So for some reason, whether it's business or work, this person has decided to focus on a career a lot more. This part of the lifeline is also the fate line. There's some fragments of an old lifeline evident there, but obviously there has been a change in that line. There's also some connecting lines towards the ring finger. This one in the middle is called the success line and can represent a successful future beyond the age of 50. There's some fine line reaching towards the end of or the start of the middle finger. This represents the fate line, and it shows that there's changes in this line. So more than likely around between the ages of, say, 42 and 50, 51, there's been some gradual or immediate kind of a change happening regarding the career life. And these lines at the top that are fine, they represent new lines forming, and they can represent multiple sources of income. That often comes with a business. There's also an inspiration line that rises, which can also be an influence line for that business, showing more success beyond the age of 50, more like beyond the age of 55. So I will go to the right hand. I'll just change slides. This is the lifeline, and it doesn't have that exact kind of a change as the non-dominant hand did. However, there is many energy lines leaving the lifeline, so that can represent the same kind of thing, whereas the fate line here seems to rise more from the Mount of Moon. There's a double fate line, and that often represents duality. Many business people have double fate lines because it represents the multiple things that they are doing in their business or in their career. So this fate line makes a bit of a change again in the 50s, some age in the 50s. The timing's always approximate. And again, on this hand, same as the left hand, there are some fine new lines forming up the top, which can represent multiple income sources. But because these are new lines, they can come or go. Now, regarding this change in the lifeline, the fork is down in the lower half. There's some remnants of an old lifeline there, and again the line takes a new road down here. So it's slightly different timing on this hand versus the first one, although this point here is about the same, around the age of 40. So from 40 onwards, it looks like a more career-focused life. However, these are quite fuzzy, so whether there has been some obstacles in that, potentially health, due to some health lines crossing there as well. The success line is present, and there's two of those on the dominant hand. This is a dedication line, so someone dedicated to their career, which is a good sign for professional financial future. Someone who can earn a good living often has two success lines like this. And there's also some fine lines up the top showing more than likely retirement income. They could potentially be coming from investments, whether a house or financial investments. But all of these signs at the top here do represent potential for achieving success and a potential for earnings. They can have other meanings, so always need to look at the whole picture. We look at the health of the individual and judge the lines based on what the person has done so far. And we also look at the personality. For example, the shape of the thumb has got a curve backwards, so the person is of flexible nature. The angle of the thumb can represent their timing and rhythm, whether they are into music or not. It can show an ability for timing and rhythm. There's also a partial intuition line, so this person is likely quite intuitive. The health line does rise to the Mount of Mercury, this area. That often represents some keen interest in business. Some worry lines, stress lines, seem to reach the heart line, which is this line here. And that can represent some emotional issues in the past. And there's also a branch that connects to the headline and lifeline because they're joined together here. So this connection here it represents somebody who may not show their emotions easily. They may hold back some of their feelings for whatever reason. The headline looks nice and clear. There's a little bit of a part at the start of it showing in the early years there may have been some issues potentially with study or some kind of a blockage, but the headline otherwise looks nice and smooth with a slight curve. That can represent some change in the mental attitude or change in outlook on life, a gradual change as the person matures. I hope you've enjoyed that quick palm reading, and I look forward to doing more of these in the future. Bye.